All righty, let's get it on.
That's what I say.
How you
Let's get
doing?
it on.
How you doing, Miss Hannah?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you
I,
today, Peter?
I'm fantastic, actually. A lot of crazy things going on. All right, so let's move this over. So, are you tired of paying taxes? Are you tired of paying taxes, Hannah? I
I'm
know
tired
I
of paying
am.
taxes. That's why I live in Florida.
Exactly. We get rid of one of them. Wealth is not about the one who has it, but the one who lives it. Ben Franklin. In this video, we're going to show you how infinite banking, bank on yourself concept can help you recapture the money you've already spent on taxes. Plus, by not escrowing your taxes today, you'll have more freedom and flexibility with your finances. Stay to the end for a free gift. We have the book for you, mapping out the millionaire mystery. Excellent book, shows you all step-by-step process. Also, us as advisors can help you. Our key takeaways today is understanding again how infinite banking works. 2, how to save on taxes. 3, how to keep more of your wealth. Very important, right? Wherever wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it. Number 4, those who have the gold make the rules. I like that one. Hannah, put that one in there. And 5, monitor your progress and adjust as needed, just like everything else. You can't manage what you can't measure. I'd like to welcome Victor TV, live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. And we are also in northern Florida, which is really considered the South, Miss Hannah Kessler. Hannah Kessler is my co-host for the podcast. And I want to introduce you to her. She is a second generation of the infinite banking concept. This is a method that her and her father travel all around the country. They're going to Buffalo. They're all over the world teach how to recycle, recapture, and keep total control of your hard-earned dollars. The money multiplier teaches the importance of privatized banking, keeping money in the family, and how to break the bonds of financial slavery. You don't even realize that you're in. Most of us don't realize we are slaves to our lenders. She dreams of building a real estate empire. God bless her. And she wants to be a fashion designer, start her own clothing line with the wealth that she's building. So welcome to the show, Miss Hannah Kessler. How are you?
Thank you, Victor. I'm doing good today. I'm sipping my coffee. It's a nice sunny day outside, so I'm feeling good today. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. So we're going to talk a little bit about, let's start off with, so what is infinite banking or being your own banker? Infinite banking, it is a financial strategy. Well, I'll give a little bit of answer, right? What is infinite banking or being your own banker?
Yeah.
Infinite banking is a financial strategy where you essentially become your own bank, right? This is one thing I've learned over the last year and a half, 2 years. It's been fantastic for me. And you've got the experience, obviously, being second generation. So why don't you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely. So we'll touch on it high level, but if you ever wanted to really dive into this concept of the infinite banking concept, go to our website, themoneymultiplier.com, click on the resources tab right there on the homepage and find that presentation to really understand the ground foundation knowledge of what this is. But high level, what are we doing? What we're doing is we're using a specifically engineered whole life policy designed for high cash value banking. So what I mean by that is those premiums, when we think of premiums, we think of them as payments, but when I think of a premium, I think of it as a deposit into my bank, i.e. the policy. Then from the policy, I can leverage it, take out money and go do X, Y, and Z with it. So with the episode that we're talking about today, I'll pay my taxes with my policy, and I'll use my policy to save me money on my taxes. So we'll elaborate here a little bit later on.
Now, I just wanted to let everybody know that in the links below where she said to go, just in case you didn't remember what she said, we have the links below to the presentation. So you can go in there and listen to that. We advise you. We're going to advise you a little bit later on that too. July 4th. Okay. So infinite banking, again, is a concept that's been around for over 100 years. Now, the interesting part is that the tax code really wasn't started until 1913.
That's right.
So 1913 to 2013, right? Add 10 years, let's say 2023, that's 110, 109 years tax code's been around. Insurance has been around for over 200 years. So one of the reasons why there's so many tax benefits in insurance is because it was prior to the tax code. So that's why there's a lot of benefits. And that's why a lot of people, especially the wealthy, utilize insurance as a financial means to grow their wealth. Particularly that nobody trusted banks a long time ago. I mean, that's why you get the term mattress money, right? So infinite banking is a concept to be able to help you become your own bank, take back control of everything you need to finance in your life, right? So the one piece I wanted to talk about is, we just celebrated July 4th, right? And I was traveling, so I wasn't able to do our show last week. I apologize for our viewers, but do you understand that what the concept of July 4th was? Like it was Independence Day, right? But I'm going to give a quick little history piece, right? The colonists were fighting against the British rule, right? And one of the main pieces, hence the Boston Tea Party, was about taxes. So what happens, the British, I'm Latin, I drink a lot of coffee, right? So they were drinking a lot of tea. So that was one of their major imports, so they could sell and export and so forth and make money. So the British started taxing a lot of stuff on everyday use. And that's where it started, started saying, hey, we got to separate from us because we want to pay taxes. The British here, I said, the reform were part because the Britain increased taxes for the colonists on things that they bought and used every day, like tea. Many colonists were angry because no one represented their needs in the British government. So we went from that to that was one of the main reasons is separation of religion, a lot of stuff, but taxes was the key component, right? And hence, then the government here in 1913 started realizing, hey, we got to start taxing people. And I'm okay with paying taxes, especially for schools, for police and so forth. Don't get me wrong. But we get taxed on everything. I mean, look at every receipt you buy. Go to the store, go to 7-Eleven, go anywhere else. It's 7% sales tax here in Florida. Now, thank God we ain't got no state income tax, but we pay taxes all the time. We just want to show you how to minimize that, right? So for every percentage point, you make $1. And for every $1 that we could save you is $1 that you have to create your wealth. Is that fair?
That's fair.
So that's what we want to do. So tell me how to save money. While we're talking about that, tell me your thoughts on how are you saving money, or how can people utilizing our strategies and the infinite bank concept save on taxes?
Yeah. So let's talk about the qualities of a whole life policy. So in my opinion, there's a tax code for the informed and one for the uninformed. And so that's why you're here listening to this, because you want to be in the know and get informed. So really what's going on inside of a policy is that it's all based around the taxation of life insurance, the IRS tax code, the 7702 for all of my bookworms and nerds out there, if you want to go look it up. But what it is that life insurance, as long as it doesn't become what's called a modified endowment contract, life insurance is a contract. So what it is that every dollar that we get inside of this system, it's growing for us tax-free. It's tax-free growth. So really, it's the total opposite of what we've been trained and taught all of our lives. Because right now, most folks are putting dollars away into a 401k, a retirement plan, a qualified plan, etc. When you're using those plans so that you can put money away so that in the future, one day you can use this money to live off of. But the thing that they're not understanding is really the underlying details of what's going on, because what they're doing in those qualified accounts is that they're putting in pre-taxed money inside of that account. You're letting it grow, compound. I'm not even going to touch on the fact that you're locking that money up until age 59 and a half, but that's another discussion for later. But you're locking this money up, you're putting pre-taxed money in there, and taxes are going to go up, right? I mean, our current president campaigned on more taxes and taxes going up. So it's no secret that taxes are soon going to go up one day. So what you're doing doing is that you're putting this money away inside of this vehicle that then later on, when you go in and want to take it out for your retirement, you're going to pay tax on that large amount, the harvest. So we're just flipping the script inside of this banking concept. What we're doing is we're putting after tax money inside of the policy. And now it's in an environment where it's growing tax free for us. So what I mean by that is that when I get that dollar inside of the policy, it's growing and compounding uninterrupted for me. And I'm still able to take it out. So I get this question all the time, because there will be a point where you're able to take out more from the policy than what you even put into it. And all of that more, that extra that you've taken out, all of that is tax free to you. You don't have to report that on your taxes because you've already paid tax on that money. And we don't pay taxes twice, right? So that's kind of my insight.
Well, let me tell you, and I should have wrote this down. You had said something in the beginning. I wrote a couple things, right? So when you work, most people are going to be close to, let's just be conservative. You're going to be in a 22% tax bracket, right? And then so that's one. Two, you also mentioned the president raising taxes, and they're always trying to attack the wealthy to raise taxes, right? Unfortunately, he said the wealthy know what the people who aren't wealthy don't know. So what does Buffett say? If poor people do what the wealthy do, they wouldn't be poor, right? So what happens is the wealthy are going to have their shelters. You can raise the taxes. The only way you're going to really attack corporate is if you go after corporate. If you go after corporate, it may affect jobs. But long story short, you say you're in a 22% tax bracket, right? You can't avoid that. How the wealthy do it is they have their own businesses and they pay themselves the least amount of salary. So they pay because we pay the most in income taxes, right? So that's number one. Number two, then you start paying, we pay about 40% in taxes across the board. All right. So when you tax on the wealthy, they're just gonna, the wealthy are known to buy, borrow, and die. Right. They always borrowing because they don't want, and that's what they're doing. A lot of them have their money, the banks, corporations have their money in these kind of high dividend paying policies. But one of the key components of saving money on taxes is that every time after your 22%, you have your dollar and as much as you can, and we'll help you strategize it. And you're putting those deposits in your own bank and you're earning uninterrupted compound interest. It could be 3-4%. It all changes plus dividends. Dividends aren't guaranteed, but they've been paying for over 100 plus years. Plus you have a death benefit for a legacy. All right. But because you're earning that uncompounded interest, right? Think about it. You go to a restaurant here in Florida, at least, and it's 7%. Right? So you're immediately paying 7% taxes. So if I'm using that money from my own bank, am I really paying the full 7% or am I saving some of that 7% because my money's making money compounded, right? That's one example. The basic example and I've done this for a long time, and I know it's all about discipline. But look, it's a great saying I was listening to. Listen, it's hard to be wealthy. It's hard to be focused. It's hard to stay focused. It's hard to stay wealthy, right? Okay. But it's hard to be broke. It's hard to be poor. It's hard to have anxiety, governed by anxiety of, how much money am I going to have at the end of the month? It's all hard. Pick your heart.
Yeah.
Right. So the reason why people like to escrow is because of the discipline. Right. So let's just make it simple. Let's say your taxes are $6,000. Right. So that's $500 a month. Right. You don't have the discipline to do that. But what you're doing is you're giving $6,000 to the government to hold on to your money a year in advance, earning you $0. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't you just do $500 a month, putting it into your own bank when the year is over? Take that borrow from the company, from the insurance company, not from your own. Take that money, pay your taxes right off the bat. One lump sum, pay your taxes. So now that same $6,000 is earning uninterrupted year over year compounded interest. How much in taxes did you just save there?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a ton of money. That doesn't count insurance, That doesn't count. Anything else that you can do that you have to pay, the lump sum or you're going to finance and so forth. That's how I've been utilizing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just one more piece, and this ain't taxes. It's just, I'm a Christian, so I believe in, the Lord gives you seeds. He expects you to prosper. So I put my tithing money in there. Every quarter I take it out and give it to the church, or to my church, or where I go to, or where we believe in. I'm just showing you that by funneling your money through your own banking system, you still got taxes that you're going to pay, but you're reducing the taxes because you're paying taxes with money that is going to continue growing. You pay that taxes once, your money's going to grow the rest of your life, till you expire, till you graduate out of this world.
That's right. That's right. And I'll add on, let's use that real life example of how folks will use their policy money for taxes, right? Let's use the example. Hey, my tax liability is $10,000. Well, what I'll do is I'll take out that $10,000 from the policy, go and pay my taxes in full. And then over the course of the year, I save up inside of that policy so that then when my taxes roll around next year, I'm ready to go. Let's pay it off again.
Exactly. And but what's going to happen is, let's say it's 6,000, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. So you have your 6,000 in there. Okay. You close, you have to pay it up front. You have $6,000 and you're putting $500 a month in there. You're stacking it up for the year that's coming. You borrow this from the insurance company. So when you borrow, that $6,000 does not lower the amount of money you're earning interest. So we're crystal clear. Right. So let's say you had a $20,000 policy, right? You borrowed 6,000. Most people think, oh, so now I'm only going to make $14,000. No, you're up to full thousand because you're borrowing from the company. You're not borrowing from yourself, right? But it's technically your bank. What happens is now that's earning for your compounded interest. So then you're starting replenishing it, putting your money back in. As you're putting your money back in, right? It's accumulating. So now the following year you added another 6,000. So now you got $12,000, not counting your premium, your other deposits, and so forth. Now you're earning uninterrupted compounded interest on 12,000. You just take it out the same 6,000. Let's assume your property taxes don't go up. You pay that taxes out. You start the same process again, 6,000. Now you're at 18,000. You're still paying the 6,000. You would have paid in 3 years. You would have paid $18,000 anyway to the property appraiser's office. Number one. Number two, in 3 years, you would have given them every year 6,000 to hold on to your money, making $0. Does that make any sense?
No, it does. It does to me.
No, I'm saying it doesn't make sense for them to hold on to your money. You're not making money.
Oh, got you. No.
Right. So anyhow, that's the way I look at saying taxes. That's why, in Nelson Nash's book, that your income should match your premium, and you want to get there. We'll help you how to get there. And I learned that, actually speaking with your dad, I'm putting as much as I can. I'm still balancing it out. But now when I go to pay for something, like whether I pay it on a credit card, but I paid off in full, right? I know, even though I paid taxes on that dinner, I am not paying interest on the credit card. I just borrow it back and then I put it back in. So anyhow, that's how you could save on lots and lots of taxes, reduce taxes on anything. When you go buy a car, right? We could go into that story later. You go buy a car, you're paying taxes on when you go to buy the car and the title and so forth. Well, if you're getting compounded interest, yes, you're still paying the tax, but that money you're using is already earning you money.
That's right.
It doesn't leave you forever.
That's right. We're kind of talking about two things here. And I in my personal opinion, they work no, that was perfect because they work hand in hand together, right? We're talking about taxes and we're kind of talking a little bit on interest, right?
Because you pay taxes when you buy a car. That's why I was saying.
Yeah. No, but it's perfect though, because I mean, that's my favorite part of the policy is that I'm never losing the opportunity cost of the dollar. I'm never losing the interest that's going to be earned on my money. So whether I'm using it for taxes or I'm using it for a car, really for anything, I'm never losing that interest that's earned on that money. And thus I'm saving some more, whether it be on my taxes or just on regular everyday purchases. So in my opinion, they go hand in hand together. I just wanted to point
they do.
out.
I just didn't want, because that's another topic on how to do that. I just wanted I didn't want to think that I was crossing over. I was just talking about the tax component when you buy anything.
Yeah.
Right? You do pay interest when you buy a car. Obviously, you finance a car, but when you go to buy a car, go look at your bill. There's taxes, county, whatever the heck it is. When you go get tires, you got taxes. Go get rent a car, it's taxes, right? So I'm saying the taxes for us. The other one. Number two, key component that you said, we're not only discussing how you could save money on taxes, we're also teaching you that how to recapture it all. Right. So we're trying to help you to save. So it's focus first, get rid of paying taxes, right? As little as you can. That's what the wealthy do. Now, whether, sometimes I don't know, Hannah, sometimes I feel uncomfortable always saying about the wealthy, because some people, I don't want to be wealthy. I just want to be happy, this and that. I'm okay with that. But I'm just saying to you that if I can help you reduce, what you work for, and you could keep more of it, whether you want to, whatever level you want to live at, that's all I'm trying to do. Keep more of what you work for, right? So you could be billionaire, you may not want to be a billionaire, you may not be one. It's up to you. I'm not really big on all the shows that, man, that money barely paid for my jet fuel. I mean, that's creating excitement. That's all rah stuff. Now, some people don't want that. You know what I mean? So this for everybody. Don't get me. I want jet fuel money, but I'm not saying that it doesn't have to be, right? Absolutely. So number one. So now the next one, how to keep more of your wealth. Wherever the wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it, right? So Biggie Smalls, more money, more problems. They're always trying to take my paper. They're always trying to take my paper, right? But one thing about Biggie Smalls, I don't know those out there, he's notorious, a big notorious fan. He was always about cash flow rules. Yeah. Okay. And the more money you have, the more problems, and people are always trying to take your paper. Yeah, I'm trying to just add that to the, I don't know if you know who Biggie Smalls is, but
for sure, we love Biggie over here.
So that goes back, is wherever the wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it. And that is so true, which is one of the reasons why, I want to get to some of these young athletes with NIL and so forth, because look at all the athletes. I want to understand your concept of it, but now you made me think of things. This is my sports podcast, Jersey Boy Sportscast, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Little plug in there, is that you see athletes, professionals who a long time ago, and still happening today, it's just they make so much more money now, is that wherever wealth is accumulated, these are the young men and women who make all this money, and then some kind of advisor has been there stealing it. Right? They see them as a gold mine. They're going after them. Or, they're not putting if they start learning the infinite bank concept, they got some protection of their money. Right. And they're their own bank. So someone comes from their investment. The one thing I love about it is you got to go request it. You're a banker, even though it's your bank, you can't just go and take it out of your store. You have to go and request it. It keeps you focused on it. So my words, cumulative, someone's trying to steal it. As professional athletes out there, beware of that. Come and check us out. Good people. This is based on good principles. So that's a fact. Wherever it is, they're going to try to take it. So go ahead. What was your comments on that piece?
No. So on that piece, I mean, really, it just comes from Nelson Nash and his book, Becoming Your Own Banker. So, right. So everything that we talk about stems from this book and Nelson Nash's teachings. And so really what he's talking about is one of the human behaviors that we have to overcome, just like how Victor's talking about, is being disciplined. And this really comes from what's called the Willie Sutton's law, and really most people know Willie Sutton because he was a notorious bank robber in our nation's history. And when he was asked why he continued to rob banks, he replied, "That's where they keep all the money." So Sutton's law is formulated from wherever wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it. No, that's perfect, Victor. Yes.
And I'm a digital guy.
Yeah. And I'm reading this right from page 29 of Nelson's book. So I'll just read some kind of a few sections out of here, and hopefully this will help the audience. But, so one item that I have highlighted here, the government is a parasite and lives off of the productive taxpayers, the host. So we are the host and the government's the parasite. It is self-evident that if the parasite takes all the produce of the host, then both parties die. So, right. So we're just kind of talking about how really in my opinion, the biggest theft and thiefed out there is the IRS tax code. That's just my humble opinion. I know that can kind of get a little political there, but in my opinion, the IRS tax law and that income tax law that came around in 1913, yeah, it's our largest eroder of wealth, and they are legally stealing from our hard work. So then it continues on to say they invented qualified pension plans, HR 10 plans, 401k plans, IRAs. What a classic case of appointing the fox to guard the chicken house, right? Just kind of how I touched on earlier about how, we're putting dollars away, good dollars today, to be paid back with weaker dollars in the future. And then when we want to go use all that money, the parasite, i.e. the government, is sucking us down, the host, from all of that money that we have to give them once we want to go and take that money out. So I'll continue on to say the lawmakers create a problem by spending money that they do not have, which results in strangling taxation. And then they create a solution in a form of an exception to the rules they created. The natural result of such a process is a system in which the government controls everything you do, and they can and will change their mind. So kind of, Victor, you talked about this today, but the number one thing about this infinite banking concept is the control aspect of it too. And actually, this is my humble opinion of why I'm not a huge fan of the IRS tax code. So Nelson teaches us, I remind you that the thing that's caused all of this burden is the income tax law, which did not exist as we know it until 1913. Before
got that right.
Yep. And before then, our country had a surplus and the national budget, and the world got along very well. We had a surplus before this tax law came about. I don't think a lot of people know that, or the history before the income tax law. And then lastly, just continuing on of what his teachings are, we all need to protect ourselves from the devastating effects of this monstrous idea outlined above. It just can't work. Yet generation after generation keeps trying the same old nonsense. Economic problems are best resolved by people freely contracting with one another, and with government limited to the function of enforcing those contracts. So that's kind of where my perspective comes from on, where wealth is accumulated, someone's going to go and try and steal it. So talking about taxes and the government and the IRS tax code there.
So I just want to be clear for everybody from our side, Victor TV, and I know Hannah's the same way. We are not anti-government. At least I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Believe in the government. We're a strong country. It's just that it's gotten to the point. I would say we're like modern day Rome. To even be in politics, you have to have money. So it's very difficult. Number one, and what happens is no matter what you do. All these taxes, even the tolls, right? The tolls were designed only to pay for the highway or for the bridge. And then the money was so big that they continued keeping the tolls, right? So think about everything that goes on. So, the way it's structured today, Social Security is expected to go bankrupt, right? Just so you know that, at least from my readings is, the 401k, all those type of plans were created after the market crashed in the Great Depression. And the government needed a way to get people to have more confidence in the stock market. So they created this version of the 401k, pre-tax dollars and so forth. But just historically, 401ks, no one's made millions off of 401k. That's the bottom line. Okay. And I'm probably down 18-20%. And I stopped my 401k. And that's another topic we're going to get into. I think that one we should get into because people are very concerned. What about matching? What about all this stuff? Look, take control of your money, right? You got to be smart. And not too many people. And I was one of them. I've made a lot of money in my lifetime and I've lost a lot of money in my lifetime. All I did was look at my statement. It wasn't like I was looking at the stocks they were going into. So unless you're very heavily into it. So, but again, those where your money is, they're going to try to take it. They're going to try to tax you. They're going to go after it. The beauty thing is, and here is the money you accumulate here is free from the IRS. It's free from bankruptcy. It's free from creditors. So, I'm definitely a sports guy. So athletes, let us help you. Those who have the goal make the rules, which is true. Let me tell you a little bit of our piece, right? I never understood until later in life, and I realized, Robert Kiyosaki was always said that buying your own home is a bad investment, and it's a liability. Now I understand it, right? And I've had several homes, and I have other homes too. But it is a fact, right? An asset, if it's not generating you income, right? It may be an asset, but it's not an asset you can go buy groceries with. You could do anything with. Even with this great housing market, you have all this equity. It helps your net income, but your net income is not as great as Biggie Small's cash flow rules, absolutely. Right? So those who have the goal, and what does that mean? In times of opportunity is when you want money to seize that opportunity, right? So you want to start, wealthy, accumulate wealth, because when the market changes, those who have money and opportunity to buy real estate, right? And now to buy real estate, that's when I'm looking to seize the moment, right? When I can get something at a good value. I think they're inflated values, right? But it is what it is. And that's when you want to see it. So those who have the goal make the rules. So if you have the money to take advantage of a business opportunity, take advantage of a real estate opportunity, that's what we're talking about. So you make the rules. You could lend out the money, and I'm going to let you go into there right now. But that is one of the key components. And what happens is, go back to, I'm not saying you should never buy your personal home, your personal residence. I don't think that's what he's talking about. But what you really realize is that it's all about making sure that you have buy enough assets and investments that generate passive income to then pay for your other items.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you're going to buy a house, make sure that the mortgage is being paid for your business investments or your real estate investments. So if your mortgage is $2,000, make sure you have $2,000 of passive income. Buy your house.
Yeah.
Right. And then have it coming in. So it's not about not buying a house. It's just a matter of where you're going to allocate, when and where you want to generate money, especially for the young people who, right away want to buy a house, smart. I've had, some young people are smart, buy fourplexes and live in one, or duplexes and live in one. Just, I wanted to just share with that. Those who have to go make the rules. And if you have your money, and don't just store it and stash it in the bank, right? Make it where it could be used, that you could use it.
Good. No, so absolutely. So actually it comes from another Nelson rule, right? The golden rule, right? Those who have the gold make the rules. So here's just kind of a story that I want to talk about. And I have a note here written on my page of my book, and it says, money flows to where it's respected. And so there's this little story in here that I just would like to share. It'll take me about 2 minutes. So a few years back, Panasonic wanted to build a plant in Mexico to solve the obvious equation. But in the infinite wisdom of the Mexican government at that time, if you wanted to establish such a business there, they would require that Mexicans should own 51% of the business. That means that Mexicans control the business, right? So Panasonic wanted to go down, build a plant in Mexico. So the typical Japanese strategy runs something like this. You put money into a business and you should expect to lose money for 5 years. When you start making money, you should plow it all back into the business for 5 more years. Only after this time should you expect to take money out of the business. But the typical Mexican outlook on a business venture is to demand a bonus at the very start, like a signing bonus for a star athlete, etc. Do I have to tell you what happened? Panasonic pulled out of Mexico and went somewhere else where capital is appreciated and managed with care. Who won and who lost in this story? Panasonic had the gold, and so thus they made the rules. It can be no other way. Capital is a responsibility and should be treated with great respect. If not, then all parties involved will lose. When you have a large amount of cash on hand, all sorts of good opportunities will appear. So actually that last comment, I really like that, because that's one thing that my dad has always talked about, like in his life, because when he was way down, almost $1 million in debt, that he couldn't find money anywhere. But now, once he's back up, he doesn't have all that boatload of debt. He's getting calls all the time, with different opportunities of where to go put his money to work. So money really does go and flow where it's respected. And you who have the gold, you're the one who is in control of everything. Thus, you're the one who gets to make the rules. So kind of going back to the principle of control here, inside of the policy, you're the one who has that 100% control over your banking life. So thus, you're the one who gets to make the rules in all the transactions you want to do.
I want to just tie this back into taxes. It goes back to, you're able to make the rules on how and when you want to pay your taxes and reduce your taxes. So now we could utilize that same thing on a lot of other segments, but I just want to keep tying up so we're not going off on taxes, right? So again, you make the rules, you pay the least amount of taxes, you pay the less amount of closing. In this case, it's you want to get out of taxes is one component of it. So don't forget, in our links below, you're going to have the money multiplier book, plus you have access to this presentation, plus you have access to the money multiplier presentation. It's 90 minutes. If it's worth it to you, look at it. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And we'd love to help you. I'm on a mission. Number 5, monitor your progress and adjust as needed. That's where we come in to help you, because we're going to start wrapping up in a little bit. Monitor your, well, you can't manage what you can't measure, right? So the beauty about controlling, having your own banking system on multiple banks, like most of us have that are involved, right, is the fact that, and look, so we're crystal clear, Bank of America has probably $24 billion in what we're talking about. They call it BOLI, bank-owned life insurance. Wells Fargo has 23 billion. I mean, there's billions and billions. Corporate-owned life insurance, that's how you get key man insurance, right? We're going to talk in a segment on a buy-sell agreement, all right, for small business owners. But just monitor your progress. And one thing is that we have a strategy. We're not your typical, life agents, right? We are advisors. Okay. Now, obviously, you want to seek tax counsel, legal counsel, what you want to do. We're not here for that. We're going to show you exactly the strategies that are being used today by most of the wealthy, and how companies like Ray Kroc, McDonald's, Pampered Chef, Walt Disney, all built their businesses utilizing. And it's in one of my favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life, right? At the end, when he went to I forgot the guy's name, he goes, look, here's my policy. Here's this cash value in it. Can I put this as collateral, right? So monitor your progress, and we're going to help you. We would help you with that, or you could do it on your own. There's things that we can provide for you and all. Now, I'm going to start wrapping this up. You'll be able, out of an infinite banking policy, you'll be able to take out tax-free loans and use the money for whatever you need. Plus, you won't have to worry about penalties or interest rates, right? It's the perfect solution for anyone who wants to save money on their taxes. Now, what we ask you is, hey, sign up today for a free strategy session consultation with both Hannah and I. We'll walk you through the process. We'll show you how infinite banking can help you save money in your taxes, improve your financial situation. We have a free gift for you in the link, mapping out mapping out the millionaire mystery, steps into the secret of the wealthy. It's a PDF, a link. You can get to the book. You see information on the podcast, schedule a session, click on our link below. You go to Victor, you see my name there, victorarocho.com. My website has my contact information, has other videos on infinite banking, access to these books. Listen, we work with serious people who have a desire to create more wealth, or want to be debt-free and leave a legacy. You got to decide. I was listening to this other podcast and reminded me, through my trials, everybody goes through storms, I wasn't born into wealth. I wasn't wealthy, right? Okay. But I want to be the person who starts it. Mm-hmm. Like, I want my picture, my portrait, on the fireplace. right? Going down. So that's on a mission. You got to decide, do you want to be that person? You don't, right? Proverbs 13:22 always talk, a good person leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Now, for our free strategy session, please go. You just need to listen to it's in the moneymultiplier.com in the member area. It's already in the link. And it's a 90-minute video by the co-author and Heather's father, Brent Kessler, and Chris Noggle, mapping out the millionaire mystery, which is on the book, but the 90-minute video is by Brent Kessler. Step into secrets of the wealthy. Now, really, I'm about wrapping this up, right? We have more next week on next Tuesday at 8 a.m. We're starting it up. Our next podcast, we got some good, exciting pieces happening. But any parting words, Hannah? And you're going to be able to contact Hannah. You have her information there. How else can they contact you, Hannah?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Money Multiplier on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and then also myself, Hannah Kessler, Kessler with one S. Find me anywhere on all those social media platforms.
All right, well, I thought this was a good show, especially on the cusp of finishing July 4th, right? And taxes is a major issue. I mean, they're coming up now. So, with what's happening with politics and so forth. So, hey, also always great having you on the show. This is Victor VTV. Please tune in, subscribe, hit the notifications so you know we're on. You can catch me on Debt Free Victor, Instagram. I am on Twitter at Arocho. I have my own Facebook page. And obviously, I just told you about the YouTube channel. And you can always go to my website as well. Hannah and I work together. I'm glad to be part of the Money Multiplier team and seeing we have some exciting things going on there. If you go to Money Multiplier, there's a great show happening up in Buffalo. So you want to check that out. And we are excited to continue in creating more. 95% of the country don't understand this concept or haven't seen it. People don't understand that people who do this have a true passion to help others. Why? Because we give up 60 to 70% of our commission to be able to help you create these banks. So God bless everybody. You have a great day, and we will be talking